Hello, friends, neighbors, lovers. How are you? It's me, Kirsten. And this is the It's Giving Mystical podcast. And this is your podcast for the week ahead, the week of August 29th. Last week in August, last week of summer. I hope everyone's hanging in there for us. It's that in between week between school starting and summer ending. And it's a little bit of this funny liminal place, driving each other a little crazy, but also trying to savor all the moments. So it's a lot of emotions happening here. I'll be doing the long form September podcast this weekend. In September, we're going to be moving into Hermit and the Sun. There's a lot to be said about that, obviously, but the key message there is illumination. It feels like, for better or worse, a light will be shown on your world in September, on the world in September. And there is going to be validation in that, but there might also be surprise in that. And mostly when we're thinking about the sun, that's mostly going to be a very joyful energy. So we'll see what the Hermit and the Sun get up to together in the long form podcast. While I was shuffling to get ready to pull a card, a bunch of cards came out, and normally I wouldn't pay them much mind, but there was something about the energy that just said it's going to go fast this week. It's going to move fast this week. I know astrologically this weekend has its intensity to it, so just take good care of yourself. And how do you counterbalance the speed? I guess maybe just not getting too attached to what's happening in a moment, understanding that things are in this really busy recalibration before the new energy of September comes in. We're in eclipse season, I think, officially. So there's just this speed and this pacing to what's going to happen over the next week that you just want to be aware of. It doesn't really feel like don't go fast. It doesn't really feel bad in any way. It just feels like a quick pace. It feels like things are going to keep moving. So instead of saying counterbalance, don't let things move quickly, the energy, the message feels more like understand it's going to move quickly and don't get too attached to any step along the way. Things are in resolution, in illumination, in process. So the card I pulled for us today is the Seven of Wands. It came out reversed. Seven of Wands, we'll go back to the basics. The seven is always going to speak to us about mystery. Wands are going to speak to us about our fire energy. There's something happening in your energetic body this week. There's some mysterious transformation taking place. The Seven of Wands is a card of defending your right to be, like defending your right to stake a place in the world, to own a place in the world, to stand your ground. And partially what's happening is you're protecting your energetic body during this transformation. That can feel a little bit intangible because it's not material, it's not even emotions, it's not even thoughts. It's a feeling. I have this feeling and I'm trying to understand it, I'm trying to work with it, and I need to create space around myself to allow that process to unfold. And what I want to be aware of in a Seven of Wands week is other people's perspective on how I should be handling things or what I should be doing differently or whether it's appropriate or not that I stand my ground. There's something about the Seven of Wands that the authority comes from within, and it's really, really does picture this question of not needing to explain yourself even to yourself. So not needing to over-explain what feels right, what feels wrong, what feels like something needs to shift, what feels like something that's percolating. There's this inner authority that pops up that for some reason in the Seven of Wands, the world doesn't quite get you, or the world comes to your door and knocks and says, like, are you sure you're doing it the right way? So there's this, I just got such a strong sensation when I said that. So there's this sense of, if we combine this with the sense of this week moving quickly, we want to be energetically nimble this week. And I don't know what last week was like for you with the Eight of Cups. It might have been deeply emotional because, again, that's 8 cups. It's a lot of emotion. For me, what I noticed was this kind of like up and down sensation last week, both lit up by what's next and what I'm engaging with, but then also feeling drawn back into old kind of stories. And so I felt this kind of push-pull all week. And I even had the sense that things were processing through me that felt like new emotion, that were actually old emotion, that I had nothing to do but allow to be. So if that makes sense. Have you ever had that happen where you wake up or you're moving through your day, you just get really grumpy or sad or angry or irritable or whatever the emotion is. And there can be a habit around connecting it to what's happening in your life in this moment. Oh, I'm irritable because, I'm sad because, or this is what's happening, and to put the narration around it. I wonder if you had this experience last week, which I did, was having that happen and really having the awareness at the same time that emotion wasn't something to manage or understand or narrate or fit into a cohesive mythology. It was just something that was getting its way out, like working its way out of my system. And there was a non-reactivity and a witnessing happening to these deep emotions. That takes practice. It takes awareness. It takes patience to feel the very real movements your body, your heart are going through, and to have a sense of this too shall pass. I'm just going to ride this until I understand what to do with it or what it means, or if it means anything at all, or if it's just something that's moving through my ecosystem the way a leaf would move down a river. Like sometimes we're watching and witnessing what's happening without getting sticky with it, because it's so helpful to not get sticky with it. It's so helpful not to amplify something that really just needs to exist. It's not asking for amplification. It's not asking for processing. It's just asking, can you be with me? That's like the shadow work, the inner child work of, can I be sad today? And that's okay. It's okay. It won't last forever. I'm allowed to have a heart. I'm allowed to ache. And I also will say to you, whatever's happening in the collective right now, you might be drawing very clear lines about your reaction and what's happening. There might be more amorphous processing happening. I hope this is making sense. Feeling what's happening in the world, both the beautiful things and the tragic things, and allowing it to have an impact on you, but not allowing it to define you or reroute you. So there's this opening happening, and at the same time, deep processing and transitioning happening, and at the same time, less of an idea that I have to fix this or do something about this. I'm allowed to just exist. I'm allowed to just have these things move through me, and not so much pressure to heal it or fix it or do something with it. I do think that's part of this transition that's happening in the world, in the self-actualization, self-development, healing, whatever the language, spirituality, whatever the language is. We've put so much pressure on ourselves to fix ourselves, to be fully embodied, to be fully integrated, to be fully present, like fill in the blank of whatever your goal is. And while that's beautiful, right, it's a beautiful movement, a beautiful gesture, a beautiful, like true north, you can feel the ways that has become commodified, the ways that that has become weaponized. And part of what we're working on is restoring the humanity, like restoring the messy humanity with kindness, with compassion, with understanding, with like okayness. It's okay for me to be imperfectly. I can be nothing other than what I am in so many ways. And so it's like, how do we hold ourselves with more love, with more patience while we experience life? It's a little bit of a tangent, but all that kind of came up because this speed is here, and there's something about the intangible desire to be okay in your own space. The Seven of Wands is an interesting card because it's not a very clear narrative. So some people think, first of all, he's got two shoes on, which is like one of the classic conundrums of the tarot. Like, why does he have a boot and a shoe on? If anyone has any thoughts or ideas, maybe I'll do some direct revelation with this. But if anyone else has some thoughts or ideas, I'd love to hear what you think. But it's hard to say. Like, there's a little bit of a king of the hill energy. It looks like maybe he's standing on a higher ground, and these wands are being waved at him from below by challengers. It could also be that they're growing up from the earth. So it's hard to see exactly what's happening. And maybe there's a little bit of energy here of like chasing windmills. Like, are your battles real battles? What are you even fighting about? What is happening in this card? So the reason I say all of that is because partially, again, the speed of this week, and then this idea of I have to defend my ground. I have to stand up for myself. I have to have a bounded space that's all mine. I have to stand my ground. But then there's also the sense of who's challenging me? What do they want? And is it helpful? And is this fun? Are we having fun? Are we having fun yet? There's just this energy of we don't really know what's going on. We just feel deeply self-protective. We feel like maybe we need a little more breath, a little more space. And it's all going to happen very quickly. So it's like just the fluidity is really going to help you. Responsiveness is really going to help you. The patience with yourself, the leaning back, the taking a breath, the pausing if you need to, but also the willingness to ride the wave of energy that this week is. I just have this sense that there's going to be something that picks up pace this week. And almost always, I would say to you, take your time, like chill out, just lean back, like don't rush it, don't force it. But for some reason, the energy I feel instead is actually, can you body surf this? Can you throw yourself into the wave? Can you throw yourself into the ocean? Can you let the river carry you? That's a really good image. Like you're on the river picks up pace, and there can be a tendency to grab at the branches to slow yourself down. Stay with me here. Don't do that. Don't try to hold on to the things that are passing you by. Let them be. Let them be. If they're meant to be, like they're going to crack off and follow you down the river. Just chill for a second and let life carry you for this week ahead. Because this came in reverse, there's just a sense of defensiveness. What comes through is, I did a podcast like so long ago, like when I first started the podcast, about protecting your energy. And my thesis of that podcast was that it's when people sell you these tools for shielding your energy, for crystal, all that stuff that creates an energetic shield around you, good if that feels good to you, if that feels like a ritual or ceremony that works for you, I praise that to the highest degree. But there is this kind of essential assumption in that you are not safe. You are not enough. To be in your body space, it's essentially not a safe place. And so you need these outside things to make you safe in the world. And something about the way this card's showing up is like, just notice that this week. You didn't begin this year the way you are now. You are moving in a trajectory that's going to have you ending the 9-year a very different person. You are much stronger. You are a much safer place for yourself than you maybe ever have been. So you have this ability to hold steady for yourself. And something about this is that feels like it's being threatened. And I guess my question would be, or my prompt would be, who are you? And do you believe that you are safe just because you are? Do you trust yourself? Do you trust that you belong, that you're safe, that you're enough, that you're here? This I'm here mantra, like it's so present in my field. And I don't know if it's in your field too, but damn girl, I'm here. Like, have you met me? Like I fucking rock. Like I'm here. Nothing can fuck with me. I am unfuckable with, because it's me. It's me and me. And that comes from the integration. That comes from the warrior that holds the mother, that holds the child in our system. That we are complete in and of ourselves and deeply connected, and we need each other, and we will suffer alone. Like we're not meant to be closed systems, but we are meant to be whole. And there's something about this energy that feels like it's going to rattle your cage a little bit. Are you sure you're safe? Are you sure you got this? And there's something about the Seven of Wands that feels like having to prove a point, or some seed of doubt showing up. And the Seven of Wands just wants to remind you, you are a magical, energetic being, Seven of Wands, and you do have your place in the world, and you do have the higher ground, and you are safe, and you are quirky with your 2 shoes. And beautiful because, like, beautiful for your humanity, beautiful for your imperfection, beautiful for your, even your chaos, like even the party that's, I gotta fight off the other wands. And from the outside, you'd be like, do you? But then, awesome, do that. Whatever the thing is, there's just this acceptance of how hard we work, how much we strive, and at the same time, remembering who you are all at the same time. So I hope this is clear. I hope this is helpful, but there's this momentum, this like movement in this week ahead that is present. My advice to you would be to relax and enjoy the ride. Just enjoy the ride this week. not get too attached to the trees along the edge of the riverbank. Let the river carry you. Let it feel good. And trust yourself. Wherever you end up, you got this. You got this. You are miraculous, and you are whole, and you are safe. And you will do what you need to do when the time comes to figure things out. But there's something about the movement, like right now, movement, fast movement. And then let's see where you land. And then the Hermit and the Sun come in, and there's just a lot of brightness, a lot of illumination, a lot of clarity that comes with that. A lot of validation that comes with that, because the Hermit and the Sun, the way they work together. And I don't know, it's going to go quick this week. Gather yourself for the ride down the river. And yeah, I don't know, like humor, keep a sense of humor this week. And it's so hard for me to say it because on the one hand, it feels very ungrounding. And my Taurus rising is like, I don't care for ungrounding. But there's also like a lift to it. Ungrounding, but uproot me and take me somewhere cool. Let's see where else we can go. There's something like that. Okay. So much love to you. I will talk to you soon about the month of September. Mystic Rising, we're doing maiden energy in the month ahead, and I'm really excited about that. That's such a beautiful moment. There's so much richness in maiden energy. The part of you that was completely unself-conscious, and then the part of you that awoke to the world, or awoke to your place in the world, awoke to yourself as a woman. It's really cool energy, so I'm excited to spend some time there. And Shaman School, we have our first retreat at the end of September. I'm so excited about that. And otherwise, just sending you lots of love and enjoy the ride. Come on, guys, let's get in. Let's enjoy the ride over this next week and see where the river takes us. And as much as you can, let that feel good. All right, bye.